Hello and welcome to Gaining Conversations, a podcast about personal finance, markets, and our experience around it. This is Tulasi. Being a mother of young kids, I've had many thoughts about investing for children. Today, on the eve of Children's Day, what better topic than to discuss what practically works when it comes to investing for children's future. We bring to you a podcast on Funding Dreams, a practical guide to investing for children. Joining our conversation is Kshitija, a co-founder of Gaining Ground Investments. She has vast experience helping 100+ families define their investment goals. She is also the mother of a 20-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. Today, let us learn from her as a professional and as a mother about her experiences on what works practically when it comes to investing for your child. Hi Kshitija, welcome. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you, Tulsi. I'm doing great and looking forward for conversation.
Me too. So let's begin with a very basic question. How to start investing for the child's future?
Tulsi, this is very basic and genuine quest. We as a parents want to give our kids the best, whether it's schooling, upbringing, or for that matter, anything. When it comes to start investing for a child, I would like you to take cue from what Simon Sinek says. Start with why. And why here is nothing but define the goal for your child. Many parents want to do the best, but what is that? If one defines what is that goal, it gives clear perspectives, clear ideas to go about where to invest, how much to invest, and most importantly, how much to earn on that investment. Now you may come with a question like, I don't know what education he'll take, what is his future, but you can take cue from the certain popular courses. For that, even you can get help from certain websites like getmyuni.com. And to tell you examples, basic graduation will require 5 lakhs today. If you want to send a child to different city for engineering or design education for that matter, you'll need 20 lakhs. So you can define the decent goal for your child and that becomes your cornerstone to start. Remember that it's better to prepare than repair. It's always a good idea to plan for the goals than failing to plan, because in my practical experience with my clients, defining a goal and defining a path to investment has always worked.
So I understand defining a goal is the key and foremost step for parents to look at. Failing to plan is planning to fail. This explains how important it is to define our goal and to keep our goal in place before we start investing. We all know that things tend to change.
Exactly.
As per life needs, choices kids make, or for that matter, it could be any other reason as well. So how do we keep our goals more flexible and more relevant?
If a goal has to be real, it has to change. We always say that only thing is constant, that is change. Our life changes. We as a parent mature. Our kids evolve. They can visualize better for what they want and aspire to be. So mind you, goal always changes. I have not seen a single parent who defined their goal as 5 lakhs to start investment and who has not changed. So what matters here is about define goal at once when you start the investment and revisit the goal at constant intervals so that it becomes more relevant to your life and your thinking. So by doing so, you are closer to your goal as life moves on. To tell you personally, my example, we always planned for my daughter's India graduation, but she chose to do her graduation abroad in UK. So the funds requirement for UK education is far different than the funds requirement in India. India, you may need education fund only once, college admission. But in UK universities, they need one different set of funds at different levels. So what we did is, we did 3 buckets for her. Her investments was flexible enough. That was real advantage for us, that we could create 3 buckets for her. One bucket is for her annual college fees. The another bucket, which is aligned to our regular income to pay her recurring cost of living there. And third bucket, we carefully design for her long-term education and her future, keeping in mind that money needs time to compound. So we have a separate bucket created for her career, which is 5 to 6 years down the line. So the flexibility of investments plays a key role when it comes to the goals. As goal changes, investment has to change and vice versa.
Okay. So having a flexible approach always allows us to adapt to the changes that come up our way in investing or planning for our children's future.
Exactly, precisely. The way it helps in life, it helps in the investments.
Okay, moving on. All of us are aware of investment avenues that are specifically designed for children. One most popular among them is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. So tell me, what is your take on these children specific policies? Do you recommend parents investing into these?
Yes, it's very human to get drawn into the emotional appeal to invest in specially designed scheme for our children. When you mention Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, there are many policies specially designed for young children. But think before leave. These investments comes with its own restraints. I just now explained you that goal change, they vary. But when you get into this kind of investments, they come with their own lock-in period. They're not flexible enough to move around or play around funds when it is needed. So I would suggest that one should invest part of the funds into this kind of schemes. Another appeal here is assured return. But to tell you, nothing is guaranteed in life. When Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana launched, the rate of return was 9.2% guaranteed, assured. But it is linked to market rates. So now the present rate of return is 8.2%. So there's nothing assured. So one has to be investing in the growing asset which has potential to deliver better than only looking at assured as a tag. Now coming to the another point of should you really weigh in this kind of investment? It works with few parents because mentally they're feeling that I kept aside something. And believe me, something is better than nothing. There is nothing good or bad about these investments, but there is always opportunity cost one has to look at. If another flexible and better deliver products are available, then why not to look for them?
True, totally agree on that. You have given a very different perspective. When I had my daughter, this was the first investment option I looked at. But now I understand not to attach emotions to investments, but understand the return mechanism and have a very practical approach for investing. Another very common question that I have heard among parents is it better to invest in child's name? Kshitija, I want to ask you this. Do you suggest parents to invest in minor child's name?
Tulsi, you raise such a valid point. We adore our children, we love them, but is it practical to invest in their name? One way we feel secure having money kept for them, but understand practicality. There are two things here involved. When you invest in child's name, that is in minor's name, when they become major, you need to follow certain process to move investment from minor to major. So one has to keep track of things and process it accordingly. It is very easy to miss out on it. The second point is keep love aside, keep emotions aside from investment. We yet don't know how our child will be as adult. It may sound harsh or difficult, but that is the reality. I would rather say you make a goal, invest for them, but not in their name, because having control in your hand is far better than giving them control. You should be always giving them direction, right? One day they'll take reign in their hand, sure.
So you say it is better to invest for kids rather than invest in their name?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Another important question that I've heard among many parents is it good to have a real estate for children's future? Is it good to buy or keep land or a property for child's education?
Tulsi, I get it from where you come from. This is a common conundrum. To invest in real estate for all practical purpose, but one has to move on time. In my experience, real estate is the most illiquid asset. The prices of it only increase on paper, and when you need it, you can't liquidate at your asking price. And just now we discussed, goals vary and they change, and fund requirements of a child is certain. So when returns on real estate are not that visible or practical to execute, being the illiquid asset, I would never suggest that investing in land for child's future. Also, there is no benchmark to assess rate of return. The last bought or sold price becomes a benchmark to buy or sell the asset. So the transparency is already lacking in this business. Another problem with real estate is that we always calculate return on investment on real estate in absolute term. I mean, I bought it for X and I sold it for Y. But is it earning the required rate of return annually? Like I'm talking about compounding rate of return. In other investment avenue, You can track investment because of the transparency, and you can vouch for the compounding annual rate of return. So it's not a good idea to invest in real estate or land for your child. And more so, you will never know. You are investing for them in the land, but as an adult, will they need it? Or it could become more obligatory for them to take care of those assets.
So I totally agree. So you're saying real estate are not very ideal way of investing for a child's future because they are very illiquid assets and not a practical approach to take forward. Then tell me, if not child specific policies and land, then what is the best way of investing for a child's future?
When it comes to investing for a child, look for three things. First and foremost, flexibility of the investment. Second, transparency. And third, return potential. The investing for a child is always a long term goal. So, if the investments are transparent enough and flexible enough, you can change as the goal changes. So, I would suggest each and every parent have to have equity asset in their portfolio for child goal. One can look at trusted mutual fund houses and invest in diversified equity scheme or balance schemes as per the need is. And depending on the parents' risk profiling and risk taking ability, I would suggest to invest in mid cap and small cap funds for very long term goals. So keep these things in factor in mind of transparency, flexibility, and potential return while investing for the child. Another basic thing one has to look at is having risk coverage for parents to protect in any eventuality. So that is the ideal way one can go with.
Actually, in my growing years, I have seen my family investing mostly in real estate and gold. Choosing a career in finance and learning from you and other friends in this field, today I understand the different channels available. I understand the importance of financial literacy. So, my next question to you, Kshitija, is how important it is to teach our kids financial literacy. And as parents, what role do we play in imparting this knowledge to them?
We as a parent play a major role to help your child make nuances about money and finance. Subconsciously, they are observing us and learning from us. We have series of examples of our clients who started investing in the way they are looking at somebody there at their home. In my generation or millennial, I see that there is a lack of financial literacy, but we can always help our young generation to know more and better about money and finance. I would say this has become a life skills like language or communication. My son goes to CBSE school, and in CBSE school, there is an option to select financial literacy, basic financial education as co-curricular activity. One can opt for that. As kids grow up, as a teenager, they can choose for courses, online or offline. And of course, exposing them with books and giving them practical exposure about handling money, giving them pocket money, or asking them to work around that. It's really helpful to inculcate about money and finance when they are very young, because taking right decisions with money really matters in a long and goes a long way in all scheme of things. And that's just the ideal way to do it.
That was very insightful. I wish all parents introduce financial literacy early on to their kids. Thank you, Kshitija. It was truly a wonderful conversation. My key takeaways are to start early, have a goal, and invest judiciously. Having funds allocated for our children's education not only provides options but also gives us the power to seize opportunities. Planning with a goal in mind brings peace of mind and joy to parenting. Thank you once again, Kshitija. It was indeed a pleasure having this conversation with you.
I enjoyed equally, Tulsi, to have this conversation with you. I look forward for more such conversations. And I wish all our listeners a happy Children's Day.
Thank you so much. For all our listeners, remember that by teaching financial literacy early, we are not only securing our children's dreams but also nurturing happy, confident young adults. As happy parents, we raise happy children. Thank you for tuning into Gaining Conversations. We hope this inspires you to make wise investments in both your children's dreams and their understanding of finance. Happy Children's Day to all. May we all keep investing in a brighter future.